Welcome back to Eye on Foxborough. I'm Karen Guregian, and today I'm pleased to welcome back Patriots two-time Super Bowl winning center David Andrews.
Hey
Hey,
Karen, thanks for
man,
having
how
me.
are you?
I'm
Yeah,
great.
I appreciate you coming on, and you're not wearing the sling, so that might be a good sign toward how
It's
you're.
right here.
Oh,
Sorry, I got it very
never
close
mind.
by. I was just
Never
eating
mind.
lunch. And I took it off. But don't worry, it's not too far away. But
Yeah.
I think this week's my last full weekend, and then next week, I think we're starting to wean out of it. So I think that's the game plan.
Yeah, but you're feeling good otherwise, and
Yeah. I mean, you know, uh, you feel fine. Once kind of like that first week and a half, you feel all right. I've always found, and then mentally, it's more of the challenge now. And it's tough. It's tough being injured because you want to. They don't pay us not to play, so they pay us to play, and that's what I was supposed to do. That's who I am, and not being able to do that's tough. And but at the same time there's a lot of blessings in it, and getting I got two young boys at home, so getting to spend more time with them on the weekends. I very rarely I'm at home on the weekends, so other than a few hours at a time. And some weekends not at all. That's been fun. I've enjoyed doing that, being at home with them. But Sundays about 12:30, it starts getting a little eerie. But it's been good. Rio's been going good, and so just trying to take it day by day.
mm. Before I ask you about your new venture in the podcast world,
Yeah,
you have said that back when you got injured, back when you were mulling surgery and then having surgery, that your plan was to come back next year. That hasn't changed, or
yeah.
still
Like
TBD.
I'm not gonna make a decision, you know, right now. Anyway, I knew when I had the surgery, the surgery was to try to come back and play, and there was a chance that it does work or does not work. And, so all that stuff, that sometimes is hard, and that's more of the mental side of it. And, I think for me right now is just taking it day by day, seeing where this thing goes, seeing how I feel, how I progress. And then I'll have those conversations with, myself, my family, doctors, all that, but I think right now the plan is to try to work back to get ready to try to go play again, and if that's a possibility, that's, why I did the surgery, and, to try to give me the best opportunity to do that. So that's definitely the plan, and I think, um, it is one of those things, you, there's so many cliches. I think becoming a parent, you start to realize how much cliches are true, and different things that you got told all your life. And, now you're a parent or older or whatever, you start seeing those things. And, I think we always say in football, you never know when your last snap was going to be. And I never thought, you know, mine would be that week and that game. And then, so that's something that I'm not willing to say that is. So, I'm just going to try to take it day by day. I think, that's the biggest thing you can try to do, no matter what, even if you're a first year player that you're hurt. If you're just looking to try to get back, like, you're going to miss out on something in that rehab process, some preparation. Like, you got to focus on each day. I had new, and each week in your rehab, things are going to progress and things are going to change. So I had new exercises to try to do today, and you're
Mhm.
trying to relearn to do things, like lift your arm. And, so I think that's the biggest thing I've always, no matter anything you do in life, like, if you're too focused on an end goal, you're going to miss something
Mhm.
before that.
Mm. Well, from I had a similar experience. I tore rotator cuff, tore bicep, had surgery last year, and I know those new exercises can be
The
brutal.
bicep, I had the bicep in 21 with part of the shoulder, and I'm so thankful I didn't have that done again, because I didn't realize how much you use your bicep,
Mm.
just in day-to-day life that you don't even think about. So the bicep one is no fun, that's for sure.
Except when you meet it and all you do is use a keyboard and type, I
Yeah.
was back in no time. I didn't have to think
Well,
of my future.
I was talking to a buddy and he played baseball in college and he had a ACL in high school. He's had a bunch of surgeries and we were just like laughing because I mean we have rehab. I have rehab every day, an hour a day, one person dedicated to me, whatever it is, treatment, massage, all the exercise, whatever, right, all the resources. And like you get hurt in the real world and it's kind of like, all right, you're going to do PT like 3 days a week for 30 minutes and you're going to do it for 4 weeks and then pat on the butt, like good job, have a great time. So I think that's funny. We spent 6.5 months trying to get back, and seems like most PTs and physical therapy. Like I think my buddy said he went like 8 times after a knee cert. He had like a knee scope, and it was like he went like four or 8 times, something like that. I think maybe 4 weeks, twice a day. And I was like, that's just so funny, So or twice a week, so it's just so funny differences.
Yep, it sure is. Well, I want to talk about you doing what I do too, having a podcast.
Yeah,
And um, you're with Brian Hoyer, and it's
yep,
called The Quick Snap.
yeah,
How are
yeah.
you liking that? Are you enjoying doing that? Or
I have enjoyed doing it. One because one is Brian, and me and Brian are very close and have been close since our playing days. And he's obviously local and still involved, with he does stuff media for the organization. Like he had something he had to do today after our podcast, he had to run. So I do I enjoy doing it with Brian because one, we both grew up in this system, he kind of spread his wings and flew a little bit and then came back and then left again. But, he's a homegrown guy with the Patriots. We were both undrafted. So we've always had a great relationship. The quarterback center exchange is, can be a very intimate relationship. And, so we've always enjoyed each other. And he kind of called me and asked me what I thought. And I was like, I don't know, Brian. Like, I got a lot, like, it's a lot. Like, I know you're retired, but I got a lot of football stuff going on. Like, that's going to be tough. And, he was like, think about it. And, we're involved with a great company, Shadow Lion, and they produce the whole show and do all the heavy lifting for us. Um, and they've been great to work with. And, so I've enjoyed doing it. It's been fun having some teammates on and, other guys, around the league or whatever it may be, and just talking and laughing and enjoying. It hasn't been too much work. So I'm very bad. I'm so bad with computers though. My gosh, the production team probably hates me because I don't know how to do anything on computers and it's not I don't even own a computer. It's my wife. So I struggle with technology. So,
I'm
but it's
with
been
you.
fun. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed, just getting to talk with Brian and especially now not being involved. It's like, and I knew I've had some pretty extensive media training from Aaron and Stacy and all the teams here, and so it's an interesting thing because you still have to remember you're a part of the organization and you're a player still, which wasn't that hard when I was playing, and then you get hurt and you're kind of like there, but you're not. So it's you still have to you know you know what you're saying and things like that. So it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. And from people that have listened to it, I've heard they've enjoyed it. That might just be my mom, but they've enjoyed it. So it's been fun. So we'll see where it goes. And like I said, it's not too bad talking to Brian every week.
Well, I liked your Halloween episode with Bourne. That was good.
Yeah, that was fun. I think it was cool talking to Joe Thomas.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed having Dante on just because I
Yep.
think people love listening to Dante and his stories, and and I really enjoyed having Patrice Berger on. I've known Patrice for a while now, and just to get to talk to him and talk about hockey. I think growing up in Georgia is such a foreign sport to me, so I really enjoyed that one. And I think we have another different sport guest here coming on soon, so that should be fun and seeing different perspectives.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let's flip to the actual team.
Yeah,
I'm guessing you watched the Chicago game
I did.
in one of the big takeaways coming off of that win was, or big storylines, was Drake Maye, rookie Drake Maye, addressing the offense during the week. He didn't like how things were going in practice and felt compelled to talk to the group. What do you make of that for him? Again, he's started 5 games. He's a rookie. He asked permission and then, went about talking to the group.
Yeah, I think uh, it's always tough when you're a young player, and the fact of the matter is I believe this in my core. There's 4 positions I believe on a football field that they don't have to be your best leaders, but like you got to have leaders. Like there's leadership qualities in 4 positions. I believe. I just the quarterback, the center on the offensive line, uh, a linebacker, middle linebacker, whatever you want to say, and one of your safeties. One, just because of the communication process. There's a lot of communicating at those position groups, a lot of organizing, if you want to say, trying to get everyone in the right positions, different things like that. So, I think those positions, you got to have some leadership traits to play those positions. I just believe that. And I think it's hard too as a young player developing that, learning that balance, all those things. I can remember, when I started 11 games my rookie year, and I was just kind of there trying to contribute, do my job, and then when Bill named me the starter in the preseason in 16, he I'll never forget. I was making a PB&J and in the lunch line, and he walked up to me, and I was just like, oh no. Uh, and he was like, you have to be a leader now. Like this is part of that role. It's part of that job. Like you have to lead your group and help try to lead the offense. So I was just kind of like, probably trying not to throw up, but I was like, yeah, yeah, I know. When there was guys like Seabass and Solder and Cannon and a lot of veteran guys in that room. Um, it took me a minute to find my way and learn about leadership and I think as a young player, just learning that, feeling comfortable to do it. Uh, I think it's a huge step in growth. Um, and it's not something you got to do every day. Like you don't like. I think when you start hearing like, you know, there's all these team meetings, and we have team meetings every day, but like player held, meetings like that, like
Hmm.
you know, you got to say something every day. No, like Tom didn't get up there every day and tell us what we needed to do. Like there was very few times in my career I remember Tom getting up and addressing the offense, and but they were at critical moments and critical points, and I think for him to get up there and say his piece, and I think guys appreciate that, guys listen to that, um, and guys respect Drake a lot, not for anything, you know, you got to earn respect in this league, and you earn that by being a good player, number one, obviously, and then two, just how you carry yourself every day. And he's done a great job of that since he's come in. So, that's something he'll grow into and learn and develop like every young player does.
Hmm. Well, the response in the locker room from players who talked about it seemed overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good sign that, especially with, receivers, tight ends, the guys you're trying to distribute the ball to, that he seems to have a good rapport with them. I'm not saying on the field, but off the field. And that, I think that helps in
Oh,
the,
a hundred percent.
yeah.
And I've always tried to, whatever it may be, if it's a young guard playing, next to a veteran left tackle, like, hey, like you got it, like you want to earn that guy's trust. So what he knows, in crunch time that you're going to do what you're supposed to do. And same, what does all receivers want? Every receiver wants the ball thrown to them. Now, granted, there's only one ball, but and you get the ball thrown to you by earning that quarterback's trust, knowing you're going to be in the right spot, knowing you're going to run the right route, whatever it may be, knowing you're going to run a hot route or whatever, break a route off if you need to. So, you as a receiver, same thing as like center quarterback. Like I want that quarterback to trust me that every time that ball's coming up and hitting the same spot, and knowing that there's one less thing for him to worry about, and that's me getting him the ball. So, I think that's the trust aspect of playing football is such a huge, huge aspect. And that's something that's earned. It's not given. You don't, just because you're a first rounder or whatever, like there's been undrafted guys that earn their people's trust really fastly, fast, not by doing anything miraculous, but just by doing the right thing and doing what's expected each play.
Mm,
And you have to have that trust to have success, especially in offensive football.
yeah. Let's talk about the offensive line for a second. Obviously, there's been injuries to
Yeah.
yourself and others. They've had to go through different lineups, different groupings. It seems like they may have found a good grouping. Um, how hard is it for those guys to kind of keep morale up? Team losing, offensive line not doing the best. And again, all these maturations and different configurations. How hard is that for the group to kind of stay in, focus on
I
that?
mean, look, I think, at the end of the day, you're just trying to get the best five out there. And we all know that, whatever that may be. And there's obviously things you can't control. I mean, Velo's been hurt a few times on, you know, plays that he wasn't really even involved in on the backside, guys falling into his legs, things like that. So like, what like you can't control that. Guys get hurt, guys get injured, and you can't control that. And that happens throughout years. There's been years in my career that's happened, and you're kind of like, and unfortunately you just don't have the numbers like you do in college, and if and you have to count, they were counting on me playing, and then I was, and then I'm not, and that's hard on the organization, and like talking about earlier, like I feel that as a player, and and you're just trying to adjust, and um it's such a numbers game in the NFL. So I think, look, they did a lot of good things yesterday. I thought they got some movement up front in the run game, got that going a little bit more, and I thought yesterday, you know, offensive line speaking wise, played the game the right way, didn't try to give, didn't penalties, didn't hurt ourselves with penalties, holdings, whatever it may be, false starts, any O line type penalty, it felt like we did eliminated a lot of those, you know, got movement in the run game, and they pass block pretty well. So, I think it's just you're constantly trying to get better, and you know, they could go out next week and have a bad game, and it'll be oh, got to change this now, or they go out and have a good game, and it's so that's just life in the NFL. Week to week, it changes so fast, and you're only as good as your last performance, and that's the truth. And hopefully we can try to keep building on something here, and have guys stay healthy as much as they can, and keep rolling.
Does Drake's mobility help or make it a little mobility in his ability to scramble, make it tougher on the offensive line or does
No,
it
I don't.
help?
I don't think it ever makes it tougher, right? Because if there is a is there a, if there is a window, he's able to step up and make something out of that, right? And it adds an extra something like defenses have to be accounted for. If you play man, then everyone's backs to the quarterback. That gives him, an option to scramble, whatever it may be. So I think with the offensive line, the one thing you can see is some holding penalties go up, and nothing really like, especially like, okay, if you're playing inside, right? And I got a nose tackle on me, and, we hold every play. That's just reality of the game.
Hmm.
But your hands might be inside and you're blocking a guy and he's, pushing on you and you think you've got him. And then Drake steps up and goes to scramble and that guy just leans away to fall off. And so your hands naturally kind of go like that and they see it, then you might get a flag. Same with on the edge of the tackle, right? Like tackle's got a guy, they're running, we call it like running the hoop, running behind the quarterback. Like you might think you have him if the quarterback decides to roll out that way. Now you're exposed to the rest. So, it's same on like outside zone runs, right? Like a running back, especially playing on the edge, you think you've got a guy and the running back takes it outside and the guy reaches and falls. Like they get pretty ticky tacky sometimes with those. And that's just, business, how business is being done. And, you have to try to let go, but that's hard to do because you don't know it has happened so fast. So, maybe, there's a tick of those that go up. But I would say overall, having a quarterback that can extend plays, I mean, what he did last week in Tennessee, like that touchdown to tie the game, like, if he wasn't able to move and extend plays like that, you're not even talking about that play. So, there's definitely, that's not a bad attribute to have, I will say.
Um, Ben Brown has taken over the center position in your absence, and I was wondering if you have much interaction with him or try not to, or how do you approach
Yeah,
him?
definitely. I really like Ben. I had no idea when we signed him he would be starting that week. Uh, I try to help him out if there's anything I see, that uh, you know can help. At the same time, like now and I've told him this, like now he like it goes back to my previous point about leadership. Like now he has to try to lead these guys, and lead them out there on the field because you're in the middle of it. That's the facts about it, and you have to set the protections and run game and everything. So, I think he's done a really good job. I think, really, I was really impressed with him to come into a new system and in 4 days start or whatever it was, start that week. I was super, super, I don't know, pleased, satisfied, whatever you want to say, like impressed,
Mm.
with that, and I thought he's done a good job. And it's hard coming into, I've never done it, but it's hard coming into a team in the middle of the year like he did, and to just kind of get thrown into it, learn new techniques, learn a new system. All of us have had since, I don't know. I mean, rookies not as long, but all of us have had since April to learn all this stuff, and he had to do it in about 3 or 4 days. So, uh, I think he's done a great job, and it's I'm a little mad at him right now, though. I'll tell you that, just because he's an Ole Miss guy. So and
Oh no.
yeah, he's an Ole Miss guy, and they beat our tails this weekend. So I might have to retake all that back, and I might not talk to him this week.
Uh, uh, I'll rub it in some more. How's that?
Oh gosh,
You you talked about, what it's like to be injured and, how things change. You get to spend more time with your kids and home, but my guess is you're still somewhat pretty involved,
yeah,
with the guys, you know, day to day. I mean, are you in on meetings? I mean, how does it work for you at the stadium
yeah.
now?
It's a little different than the last time I was hurt in 2019 during the year because with blood clots, there's really no rehab. There's no you know, I was just having to let my body heal. So I could be in meetings a little bit more now with the rehab and different things. You're trying to work. I try not to go in the training room. Call it between 6 and 9. So guys that are actually contributing can get. I don't want to be a burden to anybody. And so let the guys that are actually doing stuff and having to go out there compete Sunday get their treatment, get their one-on-one attention with PTs, whatever it may be. And so my time is kind of during meetings is to get my rehab because then, at 11:30, they're all going to come back in, guys that maybe didn't get treatment in the morning, there's kind of three options. Guys either get treatment first thing in the morning, right before practice or after practice. So, that's kind of, you know, those time frames. So the time frames for the injured guys are meeting times where they're all working. And so, some of that now is where I spend most of my time trying to do rehab during meetings. But, I'm out there every day at practice, trying to be involved as much as I can out there. Um, you know, just, and I've enjoyed just being out there. I could go home or do other things, but I love this football team. I love the organization and I love the game. And I don't know what else I would do. So, I would rather be here and be a part of it as much as I can and find some way to maybe just hopeful if it's one nugget of information I can do to help, that's what I want to do. And so, I try to be there every practice. I'm kind of helping Cole out a little bit. Um, working with him some, helping him get back for some rehab and different things like that. So that's been fun for me, I have a great relationship with Cole and, just trying to help him as much as I can to get back out there and, accomplish what he wants to accomplish and help the football team.
Yeah, he's getting closer.
Closer
Yes.
and closer, day
Yeah.
by day.
You talk about providing a little nugget, but it might also be perspective. I mean, the team is 3-7, and uh, the team, Drake Maye was trying to win every game, but by the same token, they're also trying to evaluate younger players to know how they're going to progress, what they need to do in the off season and next year. A guy like Kendrick Bourne uh, has a great week last week, didn't get on the field this week. And, Gerard applauded him for, the professional way he handled it. Um, as we know, that's not always the case. Do you, as a captain, have to step in sometimes and talk to guys just about, again, where the team is at?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think, I try not to be overbearing because I'm not in the fight, and I'm not out there sweating and bleeding with them and in the mix with them. So, but at the same time, you know, like I said, I want to be here. I want to be a sounding board. If I can help with something small, big, large, whatever, that's why I'm here. I'm still a captain. I still, like I said, I still love this football team and the organization and want to see, the organization succeed, but I want to see individual guys succeed and see. I take a lot of joy that at this point in my career, watching younger players, develop throughout the year, get better, whatever it may be. So, I think, you know, I'm not sitting up there having a team meeting. Like that's, I mean, I could if I wanted to, I guess, but like, I think there's certain things that, are my role and trying to figure that out. And, but also letting, different people, like I said, like with Ben, like, I don't tell Ben how to lead and do different things, but I emphasize to him what I think is important and whatever it may be, even if it's just something little like how we break the heart, whatever, like, but that's his role now. And, I want him to do it his way and things like that. It was a big thing even in 19 when, I wasn't playing with Teddy, like, like Teddy, do it how you see fit, Ted, don't, and I think that's important for young players. Like, don't be something you're not. Be you, because that's what guys see through fake, and you got to be genuine. And I think that's at all levels of leadership, whether it would be Gerard or whoever. Like Gerard is Gerard, and guys see that, and I think guys enjoy that and appreciate that and respect that. So
Hmm. Well, there's 7 games to go. I think over the past few games there have been signs of progress, and I guess that's the most important thing
yeah.
collectively for the team from the quarterback on out is to continue to again have that upward trend. You kind of end on a good note, so you know
Well, and you talk about young players, right? Like, no matter what, that's you know, even I can remember even years we were 7-3 or 10-0. Like that's still a huge part of your team are these young players because you're going to have free agents leave. You're going to have guys get traded. You have going to have guys retire. You always have to try to be developing those young players, or you're going to have guys get hurt. And if you can't, those young players haven't been developed, then you're going to be like people just, there's not just football players walking around on the street, you know? And so, it's that development of young players, like I said, no matter what, if you're 0 and 10, 10 and 0, 7 and 3, 5 and 5, 3 and 7, like that's a huge part of the success of the football team. Even though those young players, and I think that's something you stress, like you don't know when your time's going to come. You
Mm.
don't know when, I think about Jacoby, like he's not a young player, obviously, but like Drake goes down and you got to go win us a game against the Jets. Like that was such a great example for younger players to see, I think, you know, how he handled that. And, because you don't know when your opportunity is going to get. And I think it's important for those young players too to understand if you waste that opportunity, that might be your one opportunity, and you never know when they're going to come. So you better be ready for them because I think that would haunt me as a player. And I look back on my own career, like I didn't know I was going to be starting week one, and I had that opportunity and tried to take it and run with it. So I've always tried to stress that to young guys, no matter what.
Before I let you go, I want to talk about you're big in the community during charitable events. Um, Last month, in fact, you had a bowling event, Strikes for Tykes. You were raising money for the local Boston hospitals. How important is that to you? And I know you'll be doing some other events, for
Yeah.
the hospitals
Got
coming.
one tonight. Cole
Oh, you
Strange
got one tonight.
Foundation.
What
Yeah,
is
Cole
it?
Strange Foundation tonight. So you
Mm,
gotta stop by there. Even though Cole didn't come to my event, so I'll make sure to let him know about that too
yep.
tonight. But no, it's great, and the Strikes for Tykes is it's an awesome event. It's one I remember. It used to be called the Mayo Bowl, and it
Mm,
went James White Bowl and McCourty Bowl, and now Strikes for Tykes. So um, it's a cool event to me because I remember going to my rookie year and all the years before, and then I had the opportunity to kind of take it over last year, and that's been really fun for me getting to work with everyone involved, BMC, and it just goes to such a great cause in Boston Medical Center. So it's been so much fun for me to do and my wife and uh, that was something early on, that was very harped upon when I got here in New England, how much the community meant to you. We don't give awards, we don't give much, and that's the one award we give is the Ron Burton. And you hear about it, but then you see it from the Kraft family, the organization top down, how important that is to them. And then, through different charitable things, I've met some amazing people in Boston. Uh, and I've just been blown away how giving the whole community is. And, you know, people from all different walks of life, how many different things people are involved with. And I've just had so many great opportunities to serve people and do things, whether it be the Burton family or the Corey Griffin Foundation, uh, Team Impact. I mean, the list goes on and on. And then over the next, few weeks, through Thanksgiving, we'll have the Thanksgiving turkey giveaway with the Kraft family, and that's such a great event. And I don't think I'll be lifting those boxes are pretty heavy. I don't know if I'll be lifting any, but I'll definitely be there and support and uh, encouraging other guys to take more boxes. So we have that coming up, which will be great. Like I said, the Cole Strange event tonight for his foundation, supporting military veterans. And what else do we have? Champions for Children for Boston Children's Hospital coming up here soon. We'll give the the shopping event we do at Bass Pro with kids with the
around
organization.
Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, so and we have such a great support staff through Donna and her team. Like literally anything you're interested in, she does, and sets things up. And, our son was in Hasbro Children's Hospital, during training camp. And I called Donna and was like, hey, I'd like to go do a visit down there. If you could help me, just, I don't know, as a thank you. She was, pestered me every week. Does this week work? Does this week work? Does this week work? And and just set it up, added up some other guys go down there. So just anything you're interested in, the organization does such a great job of helping guys finding those things. So, that you're interested in, that you care about, whatever it may be, whether it's, homelessness, education, service members, the list goes on and on, I think that's just such an amazing thing that our organization does for guys, and supports guys in their own charitable things. So many guys have their own foundations, different things that they have causes for. And Gerard's done a great job of allowing guys to get up and talk about, if they have events coming up and what they are doing and different things like that, which I think is important, because, it goes back to, supporting each other and different things like that, which we've always done a good job here in the past. So, this community is very special to me, to my wife, our family. It's home to us, and I think Bostonians get a very and Northeasterners get a very bad rap. I had my own bad rap I probably gave them when I first got here, but once you get to know people, and it truly is an amazing, amazing community with a lot of really special people. And I'm just fortunate to be a part of it.
Mm. Well, on that note, I'm going to thank you for supporting the Eye on Foxborough podcast and being on with me again. Best of luck in your rehab
Thank
and
you.
with with the competing podcast.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Bye, Karen.